What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday, wherever you are. Wasn't the greatest weekend for me personally. Doesn't sound like it was great for Sheets. I did make a little bit in basketball over the weekend and had a couple of good runs, but nothing really going on for me in football, considering every quarterback I picked either got concussed or something. And even then, that wasn't even my only problem. I thought was onto something. By the way, Sheets, you would have been proud of me. I played like 20% Van Jefferson, and he looked good.
In the main?
In the main, I had him in the
Wow.
Wildcat. I had him in the Wildcat. I had him in the power sweep. And he was my only player through day one on a couple lineups. So I was like, okay, 16 points for the minimum cost guy. We could be in some business, but couldn't quite get there with everything.
Yeah, I had him in the showdowns, but he was pretty popular there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there used to be a thing in basketball saying we may be small, but we're slow, right? So that's how I felt about DFS this week. I lost a little in basketball, but at least I lost a little in football. And to save myself, I lost a little MMA too. So it was pretty much little losses across the board. The only place, of course, I profited was hockey. And I don't know a single player. So we'll talk about that some other time. Okay, so what we'll do is, did I share my screen yet?
No, don't you go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is we'll go through, I guess, game by game, because there's a lot of different, so this is what we're going to do. So right now, it's, by the time you get this, it'll probably be an hour before lock for the afternoon session. Mm-hmm. And then there's an evening session which starts at 7:30, which Bobby's not going to be around to do live for, so I'll probably do that. So we'll just go kind of game by game, because there's definitely an interesting, there's a bunch of news, there's a bunch of stuff going on, and I don't know. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. We'll start. We can start with the noon game, the Detroit Miami. Well, I guess we got two noon games. Detroit Miami on the 2-game slate.
Wait, it's a 3-game slate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it starts earlier. It starts a half hour earlier.
You're talking about on FanDuel?
No, DraftKings. Are you watching? See my screen?
I'm not. I can see your screen.
First game, Minnesota, Atlanta.
Is that game happening?
Why not?
I mean, I would maybe because Towns has COVID and they canceled the last game.
No, it seems to.
Interesting. I don't have it on the on my sheet here. I mean, I'm looking at the. Wow, that's weird. Okay, I don't have the projections for it then. So let's jump right in and just talk about what we like. I guess that's strange to me. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna double check and see if that game's actually happening really quickly.
Okay, go ahead. I don't know.
I guess maybe it is. Man, it's a rough time.
It's this level of preparation that really separates ourselves from.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, we've by the time we get off, it'll probably be canceled.
Well, that is true.
It happened every single day. We haven't had one day without at least one game canceled. Most days it's been.
So I have a comment as you confirm that this game is actually happening.
It's happening.
So I have a comment because I watched the Atlanta game the other day. I'd like to say something. First of all, and this does have something to do with Atlanta, so forgive me where I'm going with this. So Andre Drummond, I was very surprised when I learned that he was like 29 years old, right? Because he seems like he's like in his 30s, right? But yeah. But I was surprised he's still really young. So I was watching Clint Capella just run up and down the court like he was in his freaking 20s. And then I looked and he's only 25.
Crazy.
Like I thought that he was like 30, like this whole season. And I see him like, oh my God, he's like found the fountain of youth. He's acting like a 25-year-old again. And then I looked and he actually is only 25. It's amazing. But that guy is good, man. I just wanted to say, the guy can get up and down the floor. He could do everything, and he's taking all John Collins rebounds for the next 3 years, I guess. And so he's really, really good. That's my just overall basketball comment as we lead into this Atlanta game. The bit of news I'm waiting on for the Atlanta game is Cam Reddish, whether he's in or out, because that obviously affects pretty much everybody else. But I have interest in Trae Young is priced down, whatever. So Trae Young is 9,400, and what's interesting about it is Minnesota is missing a lot of players.
Yep.
And I think D'Angelo Russell is going to be kind of forced into playing like a bunch of minutes. So that, number one, like makes him probably a good play. But also what it does, it makes Trae Young probably a good play, because the more minutes you get being guarded by D'Angelo Russell, the better. So I do think that Trae Young is a good play here. And once you kind of update your projection, you see what this Minnesota guys are all gonna going to pop out there. Like you're going to have Vanderbilt, Naz Reid, Okogie, even Beasley. I want to make sure who's starting at center between Davis and Naz Reid.
I would imagine it'd be Davis. They stopped starting there with Naz Reid a while ago, but they're not really missing anyone else, right? So basically, we just have the same team we've had all year with that count. It's the same thing, but then
that's right
for 2 games.
That's
so to me, all of this, I know it's a 3-game slate, but everybody seems overpriced. Not everybody. Sorry, D'Angelo Russell seems overpriced. Malik Beasley, based on his production of what he did with Cat out, although he's been really good a couple times lately, seems overpriced. But it is a decent matchup with Atlanta. Not great like it used to be. The guys who I'm more curious about are like the Culvers,
Okogies and all that.
Okogie, Vanderbilt. I like all 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
I would side more with Culver and hope the run sort of breaks his way. And then the other one is taking a shot because it's only a 3-game slate on Anthony Edwards. He's been done absolutely nothing the last few games. But with Cat out, he was pretty much mid-20s ish a lot of the time. He had some 35-point fantasy point games. He could get there because he can take a bunch of shots. So I personally would fade Russell, and I do like Beasley a little bit better. But I would be leaning more the Vanderbilt, Okogie. I'd be looking at value more for the Minnesota side.
So you do have to put this slate in a little bit of perspective, the 3-game slate, because what you have is you have a Portland game where there's no CJ McCollum, right? So that's where all of the ownership, and I probably for good reason, is probably going to flood. And not only that, but also Nurkic just remains out. And so between Cantor, Trent, Lillard, you know what I mean? Like that whole Portland side, I mean, that's going to take like a bunch of ownership. So you're gonna have to make a decision how little or how much of that you want to fade. So definitely the Minnesota Atlanta game itself is probably, pretty good. even if we're on a 10-game slate, it'll be probably a pretty good stackable game, right?
Right.
So I got no problem on a 3-game slate, kind of overplaying this game, kind of holding my nose and somehow hoping the Portland game, all the Portland guys don't get there. Right. Probably going to lose, but if you do win, you know what I mean? Like you'll be by yourself, I think. Yeah. So that's my view on this game. I like Trae Young. I like, I want to see you start. I don't want to play Ed Davis, honestly. But if Naz Reid starts somehow, I would play him. I actually think he's not bad. I think Ed Davis is just ridiculous.
I think he's in play anyway. I think that there's upside for
for Naz Reid.
Yeah, I think that he and Vanderbilt. Well, Vanderbilt is the better play, but Naz Reid's the long shot, lower owned play, obviously.
Okay.
What do you think on the Atlanta side?
Yeah, so I like the 2 guys that I highlighted in the intro. I mean, I like Trae Young and I like Capella. I'm kind of off of Collins right now. And then if Reddish is out, you can go back to Herter, had a good game the other day. And Hunter just seems to be, I don't want to say overpriced, but he's fairly priced to say the least at 6,100.
Right.
So I don't think I'm going to do that. But 3-game slate, you can do anything. So I probably just side with the Trae and Capella, and if Reddish is out, maybe go to Herbert.
Yeah, I have to know if Reddish is in. If Reddish was in, I would just play Reddish.
Okay, that's fair. He's only 4,900. I mean,
yeah, and he's actually, I mean, to me, he looks like a much better player this season. I know they've got some bodies. They've got a lot of bodies still over there in Atlanta. I'm less interested in this. I mean, I would still rather spend on the chalky Portland because Trae Young's going to be pretty popular too. So you have like a value option in Solomon Hill. We've seen that story for the last bunch of years. I think it's a mistake. Occasionally he's going to find his way and get you there, but it's never right, in my opinion. And I'm not in love with this Atlanta side. I think that Capella is reasonable-ish at 7,500, but I don't see it as being like the only thing is we have to account for it being Minnesota. So somebody probably gets there. I wouldn't mind, I know he's been trending outward and all the big things are going the wrong direction. I still wouldn't mind taking another shot on John Collins. I'd be interested in here, but only to try and get different on a 3-game slate. No other excuse other than that.
Okay, so Detroit, Miami, we're in the usual Miami news flow, right? Like Tyler Hero got, he had to sit out the last game due to the neck tightness. And last there was like a legitimate questionable, right? Yep. So I have not heard any update on that. And obviously if he's out, then it's boy, oh boy, who is it? It's I mean, Duncan Robinson for sure. And Dragic again.
Duncan Robinson.
What's that?
I don't know if it's Duncan Robinson. I don't think he really gains all that much with him out.
I'm just saying where the shots are going to go. I think, well, first it's going to be Kendrick Nunn will probably get ownership. And I guess for good reason. If Hero's out. And then do we go back and play, Iguodala? I don't know. I mean, Dragic again, he gets more shots, but I mean, honestly, the guy who seems like the safest play in the whole game is probably Bam, right? So
yeah, I would go Bam. I think Bam and Dragic both make a ton of sense. That's where I would be looking at if we don't have Hero. And honestly, even if Hero does play, I still like Bam.
I agree with that.
And Dragic is still in play too. I mean, but I don't think we need to get too cute with any of these other guys. Like you can definitely always play them anyway, straight up Kelly Olynyk. If there is no Hero, I do think. I mean, Kendrick Nunn, even though he was terrible, he played 27 minutes the other day. And if he's going to play that many minutes at 3,700, sort of an interesting option. But we also have Jarrett Culver and other guys, so it's not like you have to use them even if there's no Hero. But I sort of am leaning that Hero is going to give it a go, but I don't know for sure right now, obviously.
We could tell our grandchildren that we used to play Jeremy Grant at 4,800, right?
Oh my God. And you know what? I mean, the thing is, with this usage, it's absolutely real. Like you're going to
100%.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking 20 plus shots a game. Like it's really, really hard not to take him seriously. And on top of it, they're like running out their offense for him. Like even he had 6 assists in the last game, which I never thought I'd see the day where Jeremy Grant had 6 assists, and he can rebound. So it's a terrible matchup. Definitely not someone I would be looking to play. But
is it a bad matchup? Is Miami like good on defense with Butler out? I mean.
Yeah, they're elite though. Like they have. I mean, Bam is one of the best big man defenders around in the league. So, I mean, I guess without Butler, they're not quite the same team. But you're not talking about a perimeter player exactly. I mean, you're matching him up with Iguodala, who is one of the 3 best defenders of all time, probably. Even though he's not the same player he used to be, he's still one of the best defenders in the NBA. Yeah, I personally don't find myself interested in anything on the Detroit side. I understand if people want to take shots on Derrick Rose, Mason Plumlee, or Jeremy Grant, but it's not going to be for me. Derrick Rose would be the one I probably have the most interest in. But
that's interesting for me. If I could build lineup the way I really want it, and I have like 6,500 left or whatever, I'll play Blake Griffin. I mean, he's been playing 30 minutes plus, and he's not going to win yet, and then winning the slate, but I mean, he'll be good for 30, right? I mean, I don't know. Sure. They're willing to play in minutes and stuff like that. I got no problem with that.
Sure. Yeah. If you want to go ahead and play Blake, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I just personally don't. I would rather stack up the last game and just try and find it in a more creative way to do it. Maybe. I just don't love playing these Detroit guys in general. I do think Derrick Rose would be the one I would have the most interest in.
Yeah. So I got a big math problem about the last game because I can't quite figure out how this could work, but this is how I'm going to probably approach it. So first of all, with CJ McCollum out, you have the natural, the natural. So the best play on the slate is Damian Lillard, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have all these guys between Cantor, Covington. I'm just reading off guys. Covington, Trent, Carmelo Anthony, Derek Jones, like all these guys are going to just get more opportunities to touch the ball, right?
Right.
Starting with, I mean, Damian Lillard, if this game stays close, and again, I can't, should, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, he could play 44 minutes in this game. I mean, like
sure.
he could play as many minutes as they want. So that's why he's going to project really well. And that's why in a 3-game slate, he's going to be, I don't know, 75% owned. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It seems about right.
Yeah.
So a couple of things you could do now. First of all, you could, if you want, try to speculate with our guy from last year, from Anthony Simons at 3K, if you want, on a 3-game slate. I don't know if he's done anything this whole season, but he's naturally a guy who'll probably get more minutes with McCollum out. I don't know what more minutes means, but all these guys are kind of in play, but they're all going to be really popular. So I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to tell you what I think.
Any of the value guys are going to be popular, except for Carmelo, and he won't even be that popular. I really don't. Like, nobody's going to play Anthony Simons. Nobody's going to play the guy they might.
I don't mean Simons. Isn't Trent going to be like?
Oh, Trent. I'm sorry. Trent will be. Excuse me.
I mean, I brought up Simons just as another guy. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
my fault. Yeah, Trent Lillard, Cantor, and
Covington.
To some extent, Covington, Jones, and Anthony will have some.
Right. So this is bodies. So this is again. So this is where I was going to go. So my first level of GPP attack is okay. No problem. I'm just going to play the San Antonio guys on the opposite side with these Portland guys and just hope the game stays close and just be done with it, right? So I'm going to play DeRozan. I'm going to play DeJounte Murray. I'm going to play one of these two, either LMA, Keldon Johnson, or maybe Rudy Gay or somebody like that, and just do it that way. And then I'm just going to start to overthink what I'm going to do, and this is where I might end up, maybe especially on FanDuel, is maybe I'll play the San Antonio guys and not play the Portlands. And that could be the ultimate, just like, so I have a math issue with that. I don't know how that's possible to win, but that might be where I end up on the 3-game slate, is to do that. But
so you have to have somebody on Portland, obviously.
I do.
I mean, I think so, because
right. I guess
have to go somewhere. Like, it's not the minutes, it's the usage, it's the number of shots, which again makes Lillard the obvious, and again going to be 1,000,000% owned. Cantor makes some sense. He'll get some of the usage. Guys like Derek Jones don't really get the usage thing like that. Like, it's not going to matter much to me that Derek Jones he'll play.
Covington will get some more shots.
Yeah, I would rather play Carmelo. Melo, he'd be the lower end of the bunch. No one's into playing Robert Covington anymore. I can tell you that, because he is just. I mean, it has been. He actually played fine in real basketball, but for fantasy, he's just been absolute death. I do think Harry Giles is your speculative play in this.
There you go. That's something. Okay.
Yeah, I think that he makes a lot of sense. Like, so especially against a team that doesn't always have to play a big, like they don't need to play Podol, obviously, and LaMarcus Aldridge totally matches up fine with Giles. He got some run the other night. The last couple of games, he's played close to 12 minutes. I think he'll play between 14 with upside of like 22 plus minutes. And this guy is a like a monster fantasy per minute guy.
Yeah.
So if he can somehow get there, you might be going, oh, look, play doesn't make like perfect sense when you look at the slate, like, and you trying to do the most logical thing. But if you want to try and get different and stay within the, this game that you like, I would suggest playing some Harry Giles, and you could play him with those other guys instead of. But I would suggest you could play him. You could play he and Carmelo Anthony, and you might end up getting I don't know, 70 between those guys or 65 between those guys.
So here's a take, which again, like, this is like the ultimate eye roller. Like, anybody that knows anything about DFS will just say, Sheets, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So I'll make the case against Lillard, okay, just for a second.
Okay.
And again, this is like eye roll 1 and eye roll 2. Eye roll 1 is that DeJounte Murray is a pretty good defender. Okay, yeah. That's step 1. Step 2 is that Popovich is a really, really good coach. Okay. And he knows McCollum's out too. And we've seen him do this. I've seen him send double teams at people and force the ball out of people's hands. And it is possible that San Antonio like uber schemes this and just double teams him every time they run anything with Lillard and force other people to beat him. And again, that's just like, yeah, okay, great. So maybe he only gets 70. Now I got you. Okay. And I understand. But there is again, you don't have to be right too often on a 75% owned guy, right? So that's my case. And considering the fact that you can replace those points sort of with Trae Young. I mean, not that Trae Young's a lock, right? But you can replace those points with Trae Young and or D'Angelo Russell or whatever it is. Then I think that you can get away with it. Again, I don't know, 3-game slate. I'm probably more inclined to take a shot to fade him just because of the 75% owned thing. And I think I can replace those points. So that's going to be, he's harder for me. It's really, actually, I have more of him on DraftKings than on FanDuel for some reason. But we'll see. I mean, he's obviously an elite play for all the reasons, as are all the Portland guys, for all the classic DFS reasons. You take a high usage guy out, the usage is going to go somewhere. The prices didn't get pumped up to account for it, and away we go. You know what I mean? That's very. Right. But if you want to play GPP and you want to fade him, I'll respect it.
Well, so here's another, like, there was a 3-game slate last night that I finished. I ended up 11th in. But if that Indiana Clipper game stays a little bit closer,
yeah,
I mean, Sabonis had 50 at the end of 3, and I didn't have Jokic. Jokic put up 72. And you can win on a 3-game slate. I had a chance to win a tournament without the 72 of Jokic. I did have 77 from Fox, which is pretty crazy. But anyway, but that's the other way of looking at it. What if Lillard only gets 55 or 60? Or if the game turns into any sort of a type of blowout? Now, he probably is always going to get you 45 to 85 here, but there is that 45 path and there's a 50 path too. And even if he gets you 60, there's still other routes. So I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, make no mistake, he's a very good player.
Yeah. If you're playing any cash or any sort of, even a single entry tournament, it would be hard for me to fade him and on this particular slate. Do you want to jump over to the afternoon, the evening slate?
Yes, let's get to the. And I don't know. To me, it seems like a 1-game slate, but we'll actually, I shouldn't say that. We'll
say that, Chief. This is the time in this era that's not like far fetched. Like it could end up only being a 1-game slate.
Oh, I was being facetious, but we'll get to it. So let me just pull up because I had it on FanDuel for a second. Let me get my DraftKings and my late slate. There it is. Okay. Okay. So first game is Milwaukee at Brooklyn, and now we get to see. I don't know, man. First of all, maybe we see Kyrie?
I mean, what a game, by the way. I think we see Kyrie. Word is he wanted to play Saturday, wasn't allowed to. It's interesting with what they find him, knowing the way that his brain sort of can just go out of whack. I'm not 100% sure we're going to see him, even if, it worries me. I just, in our season long, I just traded it for him because I do believe he's going to end up playing with these guys. I don't know for how long. I think his mind is a million different places, but they did fine him $800,000 for taking a picture with the mask off.
Wow.
And that's not going to make him too happy, is my guess. If he plays, I actually think I prefer him even in raw points over the other guys on this team. I really like him tonight. He would be my preferred target on the Brooklyn side of things. I know that sounds weird.
I don't think I think the whole thing's a pass. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous, right? You have the three of the top offensive players in history, pretty much on the same team, and I might not play any of them.
But that's the way that everyone's viewing it, though. They just,
I know.
How can they all get there? It's not possible. They can't share the ball. No, it's absolutely not true. One of them is going to go crazy, or not go crazy. One of them is going to put up a good number. Now the other guys are too expensive, in some sense. Harden and Durant are basically the price to be playing without KD. I'm sorry, without Kyrie. But Kyrie at 9,100, I really like him here. I like him in this matchup. I don't think they have anyone who can match up with him. I think there's a chance he comes out and says F you and just wants to take a bunch of threes. That's what Milwaukee will let you do. So I would lean Kyrie actually here. And after that, I don't have any interest really in anybody on this in this game. It's a fun game. I wish I could have some interest so I could enjoy maybe, although I'll be driving back from Santa Barbara. I'll be up in Santa Barbara with my daughter, but I don't know, man. I do think if Kyrie plays, he's a really strong play. We saw what James Harden just did his first game with the Rockets.
What a troll. What a lifelong troll that guy is. I mean, he's just the best.
He's going to do it too. You knew it was going to be a triple-double and he's going to put up 30 points or whatever.
He's just the best.
But I don't know in what world or in what way you can fade Giannis here. I really don't.
I'm with you, man. That's a rough one.
I think he's a monster, and I don't think the ownership is going to be entirely reflective of it. So,
because people are. I think people are going to clearly pay up for Luka first, right?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure that's right, but I like both those guys.
Can you play them both? Can you play them both today? I don't think it's enough value.
Not if you play Kyrie also. But I'm sure by the time it comes around later today, you can play them both. I think people are going to split between Luka and the matchup is better for Giannis, even though actually, according to this season, Toronto, this would be better matchup for Luka against Toronto. But I'm weirded out by the total in that Dallas-Toronto game. We'll get to that in a minute, but I'm really surprised. You have a 240 total, a 239 total. I know Giannis had a rough game against Dallas, all because of foul trouble, which really, really disturbed me. And it's weird because he shot the ball. He played really well when he was in there, but no assists. And his assist numbers are down this year. He's not shown that same upside as always, but this is just the dream, absolute nut matchup. And if you're not playing Giannis, I would set a rule today to make sure to play one of these. You have to play one of those three, Holiday, Giannis, and Middleton. And honestly, you should probably open that up to Brook Lopez as well. with some Bobby Portis. Like the Nets are gonna play so fast, and they have no protection around the rim. DeAndre Jordan even is not going to get full run probably. You know,
Well, I was wondering about that because he's going to project to be a really, really good player.
I don't think so. I've got him projected at like 4.2x.
Really? Okay.
I've got him playing the 23 minutes right now. Like, I don't know how long that's, I don't know if that's accurate, but it doesn't seem like you need, like, he doesn't match up. His matchup makes no sense against this Milwaukee team, like none. And he can't do anything offensively anyway. So it makes more sense to me. They'd play more Jeff Green, and I think they'll play a little bit of this kid Perry, try to figure out some things.
No, that's good. I can not get rid of it. I can certainly revisit him for sure.
Yeah, I think you just flip it around. You play Brook Lopez over him all day here.
Okay.
Oh wait, he's a little bit more expensive. I thought he was 5K. He's 5.6. But I think you have to have at least one Milwaukee player on all your teams, in my opinion, tonight. And it could even be Bobby Portis, but it's got to be somebody.
Yeah. I had another basketball take, by the way, for you guys. Again, we didn't get to the slate, the early slate, whatever. But I wanted to mention that I saw the Knicks beat the Celtics by 30 yesterday on the road. I'll make a comment. Quigley is good.
Yeah, man,
he's good. That's it. That's my only comment. I don't know if he's gonna take Peyton's starting job, but kid's good. That's my.
I totally agree.
My comment. All right, so Dallas, Toronto. I mean, my first look at this. I mean, these prices seem really cheap for Toronto. I don't know.
They're way too cheap. I agree.
You know, just and without it, and then you look at projection. Then when you look at projection, it's even worse, right? I mean, all of these guys from Siakam, but forget that. I mean, like Lowry just can't ever be under 8K in, like, you know what I mean, in a matchup like this. And then Van Vliet even 7,900. I don't want to play Boucher at 7,100, but I'm starting to run out of reasons not to. OG is probably the worst of them all, and even him, he's not bad. So I think all those guys are really cheap. So I mean, to play a Luka with them certainly makes a lot of sense. The other thing is that I'm not. I mean, right now I'm projecting him as in, but I can't imagine Kristaps playing
on the back-to-back.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him. I mean, I don't know. So
dying to play.
What?
He is dying to play. He's literally begging the coach to come in when he's on the bench. He's just desperate. He feels like he's fine. Look, if Kristaps plays, I don't think he'll play. I think his minutes will be limited a little bit, and I think that maybe it's the next slate we get him. But I think you won't see Kristaps not in my lineups going forward.
If the only mention, if he's out, like, I mean, Luka just even becomes a better player, and then those three front court guys just are forced to play all the minutes between Willie Cauley-Stein, James Johnson, and Boban, right? Between the three of them, they without Kristaps taking some 5, right?
Even without Kristaps, these guys weren't getting there at these prices, though. James Johnson is the one that actually he hasn't gotten there either at this price.
No, he hadn't played. I don't think he was pretty bad. I think the last game he played. But
so I don't know if I could play anybody, honestly. Yeah, I understand the logic. Like, probably on FanDuel, I'm guessing that they're going to be significantly cheaper. Yeah, they are. So over on FanDuel maybe, but I don't think that if he's out, that the only other guy would be like Boban.
Yeah.
Which is completely possible. I did play him a little bit the other night, didn't work out, but I'm willing, you're ready for that when you play Boban. Yeah, I don't have a ton of interest in these other guys. They really priced him up as if Kristaps is going to be out. That's the truth. You look at, even THJ is 6,800 now. And also he's partly because he's been playing well. But also Brunson's supposed to come back. Josh Green, if Brunson doesn't come back, has been getting plenty of run. Doesn't do much with it. It's supposed to be a really good basketball player. Apparently they really like him, but it hasn't scored more than like 3 fantasy points yet. So, yeah, I mean, it would be Luka, I guess, would make the most sense. Other than that, I don't really have a lot of interest. But I do want it. I want every bit of Toronto. I think that the priorities for me would go probably Lowry, Van Vliet. It's really close between the two of them. Maybe Van Vliet over. They're really close. Lowry, Van Vliet, 1 and 1A, followed by Boucher, followed by Anunoby, then Siakam. And Siakam is completely fine. They're all very close. I don't see anybody being so much better than anybody else. I sort of like Anunoby and what he's doing now, but maybe at 6K, maybe I'd actually put him behind Siakam. But I do think that Lowry and Van Vliet are the two priorities.
All right, I'll take this next game. So this is why this is a 1-game slate. Okay, this is Coors Field. Whenever Chicago's playing, it's Coors Field, and I'm going to deal with Chicago first. Chicago, I'm not as interested in. Like, these guys are coming back and they're getting kind of healthy. Yeah. I mean, Markkanen's been back playing. What's his name? I think even Satoransky might be back today also. So, like, some of these kind of like smaller
Can I
pieces.
ask what happened to Zach LaVine? I missed the Dallas game. I didn't.
Yeah, they won by a lot. And he just didn't do anything. I think
he took 8 shots. I've never seen Zach LaVine ever take 8 shots.
Yeah, I don't know.
8 from the floor. That never happens. Never.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm not. I don't even know how much interest I'm in Chicago, but this Houston situation. I mean, Houston's like, these guys are a freaking locks. I mean, like, first of all, I'll play all 3. I mean, Victor Oladipo, welcome to town. Welcome to having no Malcolm Brogdon. Welcome to having no real set offense. Just go drive through the lane and get all your game back in your first matchup against Chicago. Eric Gordon. And then even Christian Wood at 8,800. But I think those 2 guards. I mean, Gordon, Oladipo. I mean, I'm just pounding those guys. I don't know. I mean, do they even project well? They have to. But I mean, before I even looked at it, I just knew this is what I was going to do. Yeah, they project well too. So even though you don't want to play Christian Wood at 8,900, I mean, like, it's kind of hard not to. But Oladipo and Gordon, unless I get some notice that they're going to limit Oladipo somehow in his first game.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
What's that?
I don't think they will.
So let's
last year of his contract anyway. They want to see what they've got. They have no reason to protect him.
I mean, let's rock it. So, yeah, it was nice. It was nice playing, Deshaun Tate from time to time, and nice playing McLemore and Nwaba from time to time. I guess you could try Cousins if you want, but I'm going to play those. I'm going to play Oladipo. I'm going to play Eric Gordon, and let Chicago give them as many points as they feel like it.
Yeah, I think the priority for me would be Wood and Gordon, and maybe a little bit to I like Oladipo just beneath those 2, but I do like Oladipo too. I just think that if you're going to play Giannis and some of the Brooklyn game, and the other expensive guys are Dallas and Toronto, like, I can't just spend on everybody. So
yep.
I think Christian Wood is the priority for me. I honestly don't understand why the projections. Shouldn't we just project this guy to have 55 every game or something? Like,
no, right? I mean,
averaging that, I think, without Harden. And it's a great matchup. This is a great matchup. I agree with you. Not so interested in the Chicago side. That makes it a little bit trickier. We need to,
But I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like I said, I mean, for Houston to get there, right? Chicago's got to put up points, and Houston has to put up points, right? But Chicago could put up points with just all those guys just having normal games.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I agree.
Right. Okay. But you said it makes it difficult. I don't know. It
makes it difficult to stack the game. That's all I was saying.
You could just stack the Houston side.
That's true, 100%. And that's what honestly, that's exactly what I've been doing every year anyway. So may as well keep doing it. All right. You ready to get to Golden State, LA? Want me to start?
Yep. I didn't really like much of anything. I like Curry, great. But I say great. I mean, look, if you want, it's a high upside guy. If you don't want to play some of the Brooklyn guys, you gotta find points. And Curry's going to get a lot of them.
Yep.
I didn't really get to anybody else on Golden State. I'll play Wiggins in games where the team doesn't play any defense, but that's not this game. I thought about Draymond. I figured I would get your opinion on that. And on the Lakers side, I need you to talk me off of somebody. I'm going to run this again, but for whatever reason, I'm getting KCP. I don't know. I wasn't going to play either of the big guys on LA. I just feel that they're in this mode right now where they're just taking care of business and don't really need to put up these freaking ceilings right now. I don't know. So for me, I wasn't going to play anybody in LA.
I will say KCP, like, in real life basketball, is having an incredible season, and the Lakers look awesome. The pricing is a little funny. Anthony Davis and LeBron has always looked underpriced, but they are just sort of taking care of business, like you said. I could easily see playing either of those guys. And I like Curry. I like Curry on the other side. I do think Draymond is the guy I'm most interested in. the thing is, we haven't seen a game yet. Not that it's not going to happen, but you really can't play Draymond and Curry. If you look at their game logs, it's pretty hilarious. Like
That's interesting.
Curry doesn't do anything. Now they play really well together, but that doesn't mean they lead to any sort of fantasy production. Like when Curry's going off, it's not really leading to much for Draymond other than maybe a few assists. But when Curry's creating the way that he really breaks slates is when he's getting a ton of those, usually a ton of assists and things like that. And if you look at it, Draymond puts up 10 and 10 in those games. Curry's got 3 and only puts up 34 fantasy points and 29. But then when he gets hot in the other 2, he puts up 11 assists and he's got 68 and 59, and Draymond's got like 20 fantasy points. So it's kind of interesting. But I think that partly why I like Draymond is I think that the minutes projection across the industry is going to be really way low on him. I think that there's a good chance he plays like 33, 34 minutes if this game is close. Now, that if this game is close is a big if, but that's where I'm looking here. It's Curry and Draymond and LeBron, but I think that I would still rather spend on the Milwaukee-Brooklyn game, and I would rather spend on the Toronto players rather than these guys. But certainly there's nothing wrong with ever playing Steph Curry.
Yep.
All right.
All right. We made it. That was it.
That's it. We did it.
All right. So watch for news, but I'll probably be around at 6:30.
Okay. Okay. Or even whatever time you want to, because it's an hour before lock. That's right.
Yeah. So I'll probably be around at 6:30, or maybe because it's like a short slate, maybe a little later than that. But you'll see it. Look, you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Then you won't need to worry about checking Twitter to seeing when we're going. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. When we say like, subscribe, whatever, it's also so that you can always know that we don't have to worry about like informing everybody of when we're doing it, because you'll see, note, we're going live. Okay. Now, again, you should probably count on, for the most part, some kind of live thing. But if you don't hear from us, just watch your YouTube notifications, I guess. And I have seen, I went into the Discord. I just looked and I saw that Bobby, you were in there a few times over the weekend. Again, I was just kind of
I was going back and forth.
I was just really busy. So if I'm not on there, it's not because I don't like you guys. Might because I don't like you guys, but actually it's just because I'm busy.
All right, man. Well, this is good. Yeah, guys, good luck to everyone out there tonight. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to be with you, but I will be here all week, and we are going to make some money this week. So let's do it.
Sounds good. Talk to you later.
Talk to you guys later.